Mm, yeah.
Oh, oops, I'm sure. Slip up. Yeah, something.
So how's business been? Really good, yeah.
Get better.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cheryl, do you want to do invocation? Yes, please. Thanks.
Let us bow our heads. We are thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray that strength and guidance for each day as it comes for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen.
Thank you, Cheryl. You guys can sit down. Just a couple quick announcements. Today we are going to do committee breakout meeting. And so one of our main focuses this year has been on increasing our membership. And so we will have both the membership, and we are going to have a Boo Bash breakout also, because we've got a couple things with that to wrap up and decisions to make. But so far in the last 2 weeks, we've actually voted in 3 new members to our club. So very exciting. And before we do our breakout today, we actually have Scott Nauman here, and I'll wait to introduce him, but he's here to talk about membership. So as we go into that breakout, he is going to help us with some of our strategies. And I've heard that he has a lot of really good information, but I did hear that from Norland, so I don't know. Just a reminder that next month we will have to get the 2022-2023 board members submitted to the district. So if you are interested in serving on the board next year, please let us know. We'd love to have new faces. And if you're interested in helping with next year's fundraiser, I mean, we're gonna have to get started on that probably in the spring again. I know it seems like a quick turnaround, but please think about that and joining that or one of our other committees. Then I know, Susie, you had a quick announcement.
Just the same as last week. There's a flyer on your table for Monday, the 22nd. Please stop by the library in our lower level between 8:30 and 5:30 and give your input about the future of our library buildings. Thank you.
Do you want to come up?
All right. So I just wanted to give a little bit about December 13th. We'll have the choir. Carrie confirmed that today. So the choir will be here on the 13th, which is a good thing. And then on the 20th, we'll be planning our reading of the names of Rotarians who have passed. And I think it's a good thing to remember the people that are no longer here. And unfortunately, the list grew this year. So we'll be doing that. And the reason I bring it up is if you know somebody that might want to be here for that, then maybe they're not as close to the club as they once were, reach out. We'll try and get them rides, or maybe they can come with you and be our guest. And then Paul has always done a great job with helping with the program, and Jennifer's agreed to help me with the hanging of the lights, and Carrie will do the bell. So anyway, thank you, and that'd be on the 20th.
Thanks, Todd. And then We do not have a meeting on December 27th. That should have already been announced, but just as a reminder, we'll try to remind you closer to then, but also if you show up, there won't be anybody here, so you'll probably figure it out. So with that, Dave, did you want to go for fellowship? Oh, yeah, way too much.
What? I know. Do I want to come up and do this? We have to raise money for scholarships. We have lots of kids that need help. All right, first of all, let's introduce our guests and give them a warm Rotary welcome. Okay, for students, we have two young ladies from Fulton High School. Is this your last visit?
Yeah, they're gonna come up and talk.
Please come up, ladies, so that the online viewers can see you and hear you.
Hello, I am Kelsey. I'm a senior at Fulton High School. I'm involved in a lot of things, including basketball, softball. I am the class secretary. I'm in thespians, band and choir, SATA, all those good things. And then after high school, I plan to, I don't know where I want to go, but I know that I want to study physical therapy. And as of right now, I'm actually doing some shadowing at Rock Valley Physical Therapy.
I'm Rachel, and I also go to Fulton High School.
Rachel, step over, please. To the mic.
I'm Rachel, and I also go to Fulton High School. I'm a senior, and I'm involved in things like dance, thespians, SATA, a bunch of stuff. And next year, I plan to go to Sauk Valley and study psychology, and then transfer to Illinois State.
Thank you. And we have two students from Clinton High. Andy, are they going to
Yeah.
speak today?
No, they're not gonna speak today, they'll speak next week.
Please introduce them.
We have Olivia Bailey and Sarah Hill.
Ladies. Welcome. All right, birthdays. I don't think either one is here today, but we have two. Dale Dalton is today and Dave Rose on the 20th. Last week I made a mistake. We had Claire, I think his birthday was here. We didn't sing. Since we're now kind of back to normal, we're just 6 people at a table. Paul, when we have a birthday and they're present, can we sing next time?
With your permission.
Yes. Actually, next Monday will be my birthday and I plan to be here. So I want a song. All right.
Should you make up a dance too?
No. How about a solo? On anniversaries, speaking of me, today was my 29th anniversary as a Rotarian. Christy was in preschool the first time I came.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's actually accurate.
That's it. I knew it would be. Okay. All right, let's raise some money for scholarships. Focusing on today's date, the 15th, we're going to have some questions about this date. I'll start here with this table. Tom, your table. 1969, several 100,000 people were demonstrating in Washington, D.C. What was their cause?
Vietnam.
Right, Vietnam. They were against the Vietnam War. Well done. All right, Paul, your table. In 2001, the Xbox game console was released by what company? Today's date. That's correct. You guys are on a roll. All right, Jennifer. In the same vein, 2013, a company released the PlayStation 4 game console. What company was it? No, Sony. Whoever over here, you had the right answer. Was that you, Braden? Leave it to the young member to. Braden understood. He understood. He's probably had one at least. Yeah, PlayStation 4. All right, Gary. This is a birthday of a 1952. Randy Savage was born. Why is he famous? All right. No.
Go ahead.
Yes, he was. And what was his nickname?
Macho Man.
That's right. All right, you guys, now let's see how you do on this. Another famous birthday today, Sam Waterston. What's he known for? Just put your hand down. What's he known? He's an actor, but what? Yes, your table. Yes, what's he appear in? What's made him famous? I'll give you a hint, it's a TV show.
There you go. Law and Order, TV show.
You guys, young girls, when you're in school and a teacher asks for an answer to a question, are you supposed to blurt it out or are you supposed to raise your hand? You raise your hand and get called on. Not anymore. All right. Since you two young ladies are seated alone here, I'm going to give you a pass. All right. So you all did very well today. However, November 15th is also National Recycle Day. So we're going to recycle some money. Everybody pay $3. Thank you.
Forgot that was me. No, so I'll turn it over to Norland, who will introduce our speaker, and then we will go into the committee breakout. When we do that, we'll do membership over here and Boo Bash over there.
Okay, thanks, Christy. Sorry about that, Christy. That's the wrong way.
We won't get our deposit back.
Yeah, that's $5.
I broke the microphone a couple weeks ago, so
Okay,
it's fine.
not as bad, huh? Well, I shouldn't even say this, but when I walked in, I've known this guy for a long time. Only last time I saw him, he was Paul Harris. So he threw me for a loop, so I called him Steve instead of Scott. Sorry about that, Scott.
You needed to know that.
I know, but I told him anyway. Scott's a member of the Rotary Club of Bettendorf. He was the past president 11 and 12. He's currently the membership chair for District 6000. He's kind of active in Clinton, though. He's director. His company is Point Builders. He's the director of business development with them in commercial construction, and they're actually building the Big River packaging, and he's active with our regional development company. So it's my pleasure. He's going to give us a lot of good ideas. He's pretty enthusiastic. Scott Norman.
Pleasure to be here. Super grateful for the opportunity. And I guess I probably need a little help on driving the proverbial ship here. So if we can get that orchestrated over. And then just start the.
You can just use the clicker.
Awesome. Thank you. So be careful what you don't ask for, I guess, in Rotary, right? Just being around, and willing, you'll get roped into a lot of amazing things. I joined Rotary in the mid 2000s and was simply interested in being more networked in the community. I was in Highline car sales, and one of my best clients was a Rotarian. And she's like, well, if you want to get involved in the community, you simply have to join Rotary. There's no question about it. We do amazing things in the world, but we do business with one another too. And I had options at that time for BNI and other things. And I was visiting all of those, like maybe many of you have been to other groups or whatever. And so my why was simply to get more hands-on and more involved. I got involved in chambers of commerce. And then I looked around the room at Rotary. It's like there's presidents of banks, city administrator, mayor, leaders of companies. And it's like, you know, I didn't think of myself in that vein at all. I was really a wannabe, but I'm like, wow, this is an amazing group. I knew very little, if anything, about what the wheel stood for. I don't know how you guys got in there. Everybody's got a Rotary story. And I think that the more you look at Rotary, the more you love, the more you look at what this group is globally, what it is in your community, and then what we've got here in this room. I'm really impressed with what I've seen out of the Clinton Rotary Club. I'm impressed. I look at each one of these clubs in our Quad Cities, and they're very, very different. It's a little like children. It's like you love them all, but they're very different. The personalities come from the people that are in the room. They come from the leadership. You can also lead from the back of the room. You don't have to let Christy do everything. It requires what? Partnerships, collaboration, and great vision, right? So a little bit of a preamble. I really want to thank you for allowing me a few minutes to be with you today. And I know that many clubs have really struggled coming out of this pandemic. So your club is not alone. Last year and the first part of this year, super, super tough for being in the room. Like you said, we can't sing, we can't be in the room together. We have adapted to a virtual reality. We're all like, Zoom is now a verb too, right? You know, well, we're just Zooming. But now that we're back together, we have an opportunity. I looked at our club and we challenged our organization in Bettendorf. You look, if we're going to lose 10 members this year through attrition or job changes or whatever, but our goal from Sheikh Armada is only to grow by 10 members, then we're going to be right where we started to begin with. So we started soul searching on this, and we asked, have we gone out and who don't we have in this club? And have we, you know, I'll just show of hands real quick. Who in here has brought a guest in the last year? So what are we looking at? Maybe 30%? I think we're asking these same darn questions. Everything that I say today, I don't want anyone to misinterpret. I mean, I'm just a Rotarian just down the road from you guys. And I volunteered to get active in membership just because someone needs to do it. I mean, I don't have any magic dust, any magic bullets, but I'm really, really passionate because from my time in 2006, where I just wanted to become networked in the community, I was almost 6 months into this thing and I thought, well, this isn't for me. And I realized, I looked in the mirror and I'm like, you get out of it what you put into it. What have you done, Scott? What have you done to be a decent Rotarian? I volunteered at the Thanksgiving basket thing, gave out a dictionary here and there, but my heart wasn't in it. And I was there just to quote unquote meet people, to become networked, right? But I hadn't bought in. And I thought, before you quit this organization, you had better look yourself in the mirror and realize if this doesn't work out, it's not Rotary's fault. If this doesn't work out, it's not Rotary's fault. There's nothing wrong with Rotary. But what are you doing to be honest and live the integrity life with that opportunity? So I started volunteering for every darn thing that I could. And in doing that, the reciprocal benefit to me as an individual is I cannot even calculate. I got on that presidential track because I became so active, and they're like, wow, this is the type of thing we need out of our membership. I mean, I wondered at the time, like, are we inspired or are we tired? And a lot of clubs go through that. Like, well, we show up every week, we just have lunch together, we say hello, there's fellowship and so forth. But like your Boo Bash, what you did with that is people are noticing this stuff. So I say this club has an opportunity to really, really do some amazing things over the next few years and go, we're inspired. I remember early on in my career as a Rotarian, people would say, you know what? We had a lot of laughs. It was hilarious. That was the highlight of my week. And so we started going, how can we make our club, how can we make our meetings the highlight of someone's week? And we enjoy the laughs and the camaraderie. And that's a special thing. I think of that when I think of you guys and where you're positioned as being able to go out and recruit some young people, be able to recruit and be inspired to change that guest from, well, we got 33% of our people that have brought a guest, to going, man, you got to come check out our club. We need people like you. We need you. Who can we bring from the Clinton market that ought to have an opportunity to help us? So if we have big goals and we go, I want you to come to my club because we're going to do some amazing things in our community and we're going to change the face of this. Would you give us a chance to be a part of it? I mean, people will be honored and they'll be appreciative of you even thinking of them as someone that you want to work with and that you want them to join because you guys are doing great things. I mean, does that feel right? I mean, that to me is like, is it in our heart that we're going to go out and say, we're going to do amazing things? But that means from your desk, you got to have inspired big goals, right? So I think that requires, that's where the new order in Rotary is the public relations arm is. The old days, it's like, well, we're Rotary. We swoop in the middle of the night. We do amazing things, but no, we don't tell anybody about it. Well, that's not the way of the world anymore. With social media, if you're raising money, you're doing great things, like we might as well champion that stuff. I mean, because we're doing cool stuff and we need you to come help us. We need your time, your talent, or your treasure. And, you know, it's true what they say. If you've only been to one Rotary club, you've only been to one Rotary club, right? So pay attention to what the other clubs are doing too. And if there's a great idea, like I'll take some things back from what you did today and share it with our club. Regarding membership too, I was chatting with Christy, and it sounds like we may not have the latest and greatest totals because you guys are one of the few clubs that are really plus on your net number for the year. It's been a real struggle across the district to get numbers that are healthy and positive. And again, this pandemic has been really, really detrimental to service organizations like Rotary. But you've seen at least 2, if not maybe 3 or potentially 4.
We've had 4 that we voted in and then 1 that fell off. So we're at 3 right now.
So one thing I would say is if you're thinking about in any way, shape, or form, like, you know what, I might take a step back from Rotary, and then maybe you have a reason like, hey, this bothers me about our club or whatever, give the leadership a chance, have that conversation and give them time. Because I'm not saying that anything's wrong, but sometimes it's like, this just bothers me, or the schedule doesn't fit in or whatever. But there's so many ways that the club can adapt. And maybe it's like, yeah, you know what? We have been doing it that way and it really does kind of bug me. Let's work it out. But it's that communication and that respectful dialogue, but give them time, because as we're trying to grow the number from 1.2 to 1.3 million, we certainly can't have people slipping away that have been in our folds. Here's the 10-year membership trend. Now the line in green is the district overall. So you can see it's trending downward. We've lost quite a few across the board, but the Clinton Club, and I don't mean this badly, but in 2012, there's 116 members, and now we were hovering around the 70 mark. That's okay, as long as the club decides, listen, we've been on this trend, but that's stopping. We're putting a line, we're drawing a line in the sand, we're putting a stake in the ground, and we're saying this far and no farther. And that's not an edict from District 6000. This is your club. This is your opportunity. But sometimes if we're on a team and we go, listen, we have a great thing going here, we need to make sure that we drive this bad boy forward. You got some good news, like Clinton Rotary is above the district average for its percentage of women. And also, this is the big one, that percentage of under 50. Obviously, that's 100% of the future of the organization, is to make sure that we inspire young people to come and get involved with a thing like Rotary. I mean, obviously, four-way test, if we get that into high schools and people start living that reality, that, you know, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Goodwill, better friendships? I mean, that's an amazing thing. Sheikh Armada has issued a challenge for us. Each one bring one is a big new deal. Also, the percentage of club growth. So for you guys, with your club size, the challenge is for the Clinton Rotary to grow from 70 to 77 members by June 30th of 22. Yeah, so you may have already obviously decided that that 77 number isn't good enough, which I love. That's phenomenal. Drive it forward. But if you do that, what does that mean? So obviously at 70, we put that stake in the ground. And then look, 75, that's a big deal. 77 is a game changer. 84 means people are going, I don't know what they're putting in the water in Clinton, but they're doing something seriously right. And that's going to be noticed and you'll be held up. It is so important to District 6000 to have a strong Rotary Club in this market. It's very, very meaningful. We have to look at what's been going on. I mean, obviously, year to date, what's been successful? Look for new growth opportunities. And I love this quote: to achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. Like, so it's like these guys can relate, like, look, when did you start the term paper? It was amazing. The night before it was due. So that inspired passion that you know, typically you wait till the last minute and you go, I don't know how we got this done, but we did. We were motivated, right? The question is, as Christy said, not only have we accepted the challenge, we've decided that we're gonna bypass that and go to 84. But if so, how? So that's where your breakout sessions are so meaningful. And I tell you, I really think that for all of us, like if we have a club that we're proud of, that is meaningful to us, this whole deal comes from the heart, that you certainly want to share that with people, right? And if you don't want to share that, if there's something going on that you just don't feel comfortable bringing people, then we got to fix that. Because I believe that Rotary is an opportunity, not only from a networking and getting to know one another standpoint, but it becomes almost like a extension of, hey, we live a life of integrity. We live life in a particular way, and we want to invite people to join us and help our mission. And that's a hugely rewarding thing. A lot of great things going on in the club. When kind of watching to see, you know, some of the PR work, it's very, very strong. The 5 quick methods of getting folks engaged and involved is take a look who's not coming every week, every month. If you've got some losses there, we got to re-recruit those folks, because like I said, we can't be trying to grow and then losing people on the side. But these are your friends and colleagues, your brothers and sisters in Rotary. So let's be sure that we're not losing those folks, re-recruit them. Devote an upcoming meeting to have members complete the health check. So what are 2 to 3 things that you can do that would make the club better and more strong? The each one bring one is an easy thing. In Bettendorf, we've decided that we're gonna start doing a scorecard. Basically, hey, Dave's brought 3. I haven't brought any. You know, I can at least bring somebody to the thing. And if you're going to grow, each one bring one is an incredible way to do that. So the game changer for some of the clubs is these twilight clubs, or obviously when you have, I bet you, like you have with Boo Bash, I bet you see, well, Dave may be the Rotarian, but there's a spouse or whatever that's right alongside. They're Rotarians in every way except the membership. So the clubs that are really on the radar for growth are bringing in those spouses, and it becomes more of a family thing. Now in Bettendorf, I've heard a bunch of times, like, look, the reason I've been married at 47 years is because I don't spend time with my spouse. So let's cut the spousal thing right now. That ain't happening. That dog ain't hunting. But you know, So anyway, they are service minded and they're there, just like the rest of us. So consider what can be done to encourage that. There's a concept now coming out of the district, couples memberships, young professional memberships, and also these corporate memberships. Now, I'll admit, again, we're having a hard time figuring out how to structure this corporate membership because obviously the bottom line is important too. So like for a company like Arconic, which is a big deal in our community, do we have like, I'm not going to get the director of manufacturing every week, but it would be great to have him in the room. But then can I get his community outreach person and someone else? And then what's the dues structure look like for that? We're still wrestling with that. There's other models. That's what I'm saying. Look at these other clubs. City of Bettendorf has the mayor, librarian, city administrator. I'm a council member. So it's like, we're all individual members. We don't want to lose that bottom line, but obviously you can think of some, maybe it's Lionel Bissell or somebody in the area. Like, do we have anybody from there? How do we make it work for them? Because if they're supportive of your Clinton Rotary efforts and you can tap into their dollars and you can have them at least motivated to follow and support you, that's probably going to be a big deal. But there's work to be done, I think, to make sure that it doesn't hurt you, that it helps you and it enhances the overall mission. The Sunsetter After Work Satellite Club, 5:30 to 6:30, we found is the best time. I'll say two key words here, beer and wine. So that's becoming a big deal. All we really have to do is pay the Rotary International dues. But since like at Rastrelli's, you have a lunch cost, then maybe the beer and wine is sponsored, or maybe it's on everyone's own dime, but they might meet twice a month. And typically, like, it would be unrealistic for President Christie to be at this meeting and then be leading this twilight thing too. But the president-elect might be training wheels for the president-elect, or it might be someone else in the organization. It's like, hey, listen, I want to, maybe it rotates, because let's be honest. I mean, if we have some sort of program, we have some sort of fellowship, and all we have to do is make sure there's beer and wine there, y'all figure it out. I mean, it's not rocket science. So I know you make it look easy, but it's not rocket science to be running a meeting like this. But it is, those things count, those numbers count in your total. So if you want to get to 84, you go, well, shoot, I'm rolling some teachers who can never be at that Monday morning meeting. I'm going to bring in some other professionals who can't get away on those days and those times. That goes into your membership total. There's also cause-based stuff, the eco clubs, so they're environmentally based, interest based. There's all kinds of ways, but in today's model, it's not like the old days where you have to meet every week and you have to have an attendance requirement. But what if we have these options? What will it empower us to be able to do? Real quickly, Boone Club lost 50% of its memberships in the years following the recession. So late 2000s, they were not doing well. They had 34 members. And so they were planning to do their centennial, and they set a 5-year goal to grow by 50%. So the only thing that has changed the model for Boone is that After Work Satellite Club. And they have done an amazing job bringing in spouses, females. The evening Rotarians are killing it. And there's 52% of those evening Rotarians are under 50. So have they not just ensured their future? And as we're looking at Clinton in, you're 106 years old. I mean, obviously we have a responsibility as Rotarians to make sure that we're not only doing great things now, but we're setting this thing up for the future. Best of all, June 30th, Boone was only one new member away from their goal. So what you guys plan today and what you plan to do over the next few weeks, I want you to know that we're all in this together and that the district is motivated to help and support you. So if it's like, hey, we're trying to figure this out, what are others doing? The club that's most similar to you in demographic and size is Marshalltown. And I was talking with co-chair Dave Cook out of Ankeny today, and he goes, I'm quite confident that they're going to be 14, 15 members up, and they are the same model as Clinton. And he's like, I'm quite confident that they will lead the district. And I'm like, well, Bettendorf's gonna have something to say about that. And I think Clinton will too. So, you know, from the grand scheme of this thing, these are the clubs that are most successful in their member increase. The percentages on the side, that's not unattainable, but it's also not going to be easy. We have to make sure that we're driving this forward and we're all in this together. So thank you so much. I really appreciate being with you today.
Thank you, Scott. So each week our club actually donates a book to the children's division of the Clinton Public Library. So this week will be To the Moon and Back for You. So we'll have you sign the inside of that. And then we are going to still, I don't know where we are time-wise, I didn't check that, but we are still going to break out into committees for the last 12 or so minutes. I know Boo Bash really just has one thing to take care of, and hopefully you guys get a chance then to ask Scott some membership questions. So we'll do membership over here and Boo Bash on that side. I'm not gonna ring the bell, so just go. Scott, I also want to
Yeah, that's
it took us a really long time.
Yes.
But what we do is quite double the traditional membership. So they get 2 but anyone.
I love that. Joe, did you model that?
But I know it's really good But yeah, you're welcome to take that. I just thought when you said you were still wrestling with the corporate thing, it took us a long time to get there. I mean, over a year. So, hi, Erin, how are you? Good. I can like get 3 hours now. I'm military. About 3 years. I used to go overseas, which I find very interesting. You're saying what other clubs do. When I lived overseas, the Rotarians there and the projects they had,
Yes, I do.
and then diversity, equity, inclusion, that's a big topic right now. Isn't it? Economics about equity's really. We have our share of, business owners.
It's like, are we supposed to go out and work and have these discussions? And do they feel welcome? Do they? I mean.
So I personally like the after hours.
Right. Hello?
You can't really, you can't talk to people during the meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just.
No, it's like for a little reception. And I'll talk to Chris about that, like really doing like a reception and just invite,
And then it pops up, and then you can answer.
I think but in addition to, I could make the Monday one Thursday night. No, I do have to say.
They've been very
Echo or not. We need to turn the other one off. I'm gonna go turn the other one off, but Dale's on. I think he can hear us. but we can't.
Hi, Dale.
Hi, Dale.
I would like to do this. So we started this for a work.
Are you there, Dale?
You have blankets that you've been sitting on, and, you know, storage room or whatever. You bring them in. There's people that are holding our
Same. So it's 105. Sounds like we have difficulty finding a place from the email I read.
Well, this looks like it's pricing, but I don't know what availability. I haven't heard.
Yeah, he's talking about this week.
I thought,
What did we pay? What did we pay for meal and everything with the Vista?
I think the facility was free. I think the meal was $16.50 a person along with the dessert.
Yeah.
How do you get the
Didn't we
sound
add-
on? We couldn't get him. He looked like he was talking. Are
Dale,
you there? Do we have to unmute him?
no, he's muted. Dale, you're muted. If you want to participate in Boo Bash quickly,
Mhm.
he might be on his phone because it's his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dale.
Happy birthday, Dale.
Yeah. You should have joined us when he sang to you.
Here's our thank you card too from the Vista. If anybody,
To the Vista.
no, from the
From the
Vista.
Vista.
Yep, they just thanked us for having. our
That was
event there.
nice.
Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I brought it with, just
Yeah.
to show you guys.
Nice.
And I heard Julie Dunn is gonna be a co-chair next year.
I don't know where you heard that.
I made it up now, but sometimes rumors stick, so.
I didn't hear the co part.
Oh, no.
I heard chair. That was chair, not cool.
Oh my gosh, Christy, you did such a great job.
It was not
Such a
me,
good
it was
job.
all of you guys and Julie and
Julie Eggers, yeah.
Mary and, no, but it was definitely not me. I cannot take credit for it.
It sure turned out pretty
Oh,
nice.
it turned out very
Sponsorships,
nice.
I think, was the key to the whole
Yeah.
success.
It definitely was, and I guess that was kind of why, what kind of concerned me with this. I have not gone back to Vista yet to see if they're willing to open up the other date, because I wanted to see what we had here for options.
So all they had was the,
October 7th. But I'm kind of questioning if they may potentially find another day that we can come there, because they just have rehearsals on those Fridays, the next 3 Fridays. So I'm wondering if they might be able to find something if they know that we're looking at other options, because I think it was a good space for it. And this is gonna be quite a bit more.
Yes, it is.
Which did we have orders at the? No, so he gave us 2 choices
Oh, I
of either
Hors d'oeuvres
hors d'oeuvres or, yeah, because he said that it's cheaper to do a buffet, but if we wanted to switch the format, I wanted something that we could compare like apples to apples. So, you know, there could be potential cost increases from either one, but we know now what the starting price at this point in the year is, because we know what we just paid and we know what we would have paid.
And how much
here.
was it to Vista per person?
Well, so it was supposed to be $16.50, and I have, I've been playing phone tag with Celeste because we were actually charged $16.95 a person. And I didn't know that we were gonna be paying the $490 service fee. So it ended up being slightly more, but it really didn't impact our profits. And if they do open up a date, next year, I don't really want to make a big deal about it because it was still far less. than
Well,
that.
this is almost double.
Yes.
And that doesn't include a drink ticket and that doesn't include tip. So the service fee that we were expecting, you know, wasn't even necessarily a tip on that amount.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are just kind of my thoughts, and I just wanted to see what you guys want to do next and what your thoughts are, because I think that, I know we'll need to put together, hopefully, a lot of the same people, but maybe some additional people to have a bigger committee next year. But I think this part, we just kind of need to get decided, so I'm kind of leaning on this year's Boo Crew.
I like that. Can we get t-shirts? Boo Crew.
You know, to make this decision so that we can kind of, at least then if we've got a date, we can get a date that, hey, the new committee's got to start up in the spring. And I'll try to keep that flowing for us through there, since I'll still be, you guys will still give me the microphone at that point. I mean, somebody might take it, but
That you've checked with them about Fridays? Is that-
correct. So, well, those Saturdays are booked. What the Vista has is they actually have weddings on the Saturdays and they have the rehearsals on the Fridays. Now, I doubt that they're probably actually doing rehearsal dinners. So whether or not they can get somebody to do their rehearsal earlier, you know, depending on if it's an in-town person and wedding or an out of town, or, you know, even if they did it at like 3 o'clock and we were set up and then they got out of there.
Which is what we did this year.
Yeah, they did it at noon or whatever, but even if they did it later in the day, no big deal.
Right.
So, but maybe they'd be more willing, you know.
What day of the week do Make-A-Wish and outfits like, you know, Prince of Peace, what days?
Prince
do
of
they
Peace
have?
is usually a Friday, I believe. I can't remember. For some reason, I was thinking Make-A-Wish was a Saturday, but the Vista doesn't have a Saturday open yet. I don't know of any of them that have had a really good turnout that haven't been on a Friday or Saturday.
I think for something like this, a Friday is perfect, or a Saturday. Really,
Yeah,
because of
I think
the
Friday's,
costumes
yeah.
and things like that.
I know Friday is more difficult to draw people to set up, but I think it's easier for people to come to after work because then they still have the rest of their weekend and they're not. No.
I'm surprised they have rehearsals at the Vista Grande.
Well, if they actually have their ceremony there.
Yeah,
So
I
have a
guess
wedding,
that's
you know.
true. I mean, like, I guess I keep thinking about the Catholic Church. You have your ceremony, you know, you do your rehearsal
Yeah.
in the church. And maybe some other churches do too. I just kind of different, I guess. But
But the weekend we were there, apparently the wedding was, they had.
the actual
Grande
ceremony was
there.
at the Vista Grande,
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe they
needed that
all,
space for
yeah.
Which
rehearsal.
worked, I mean, it really worked okay.
Yeah, it was
Because
no
then we
big
could
deal.
still get in the afternoon, so.
Yeah, and so even if it was at a different time.
Well, I think another thing, comparing apples and oranges, is that a place like Westrelli's is not gonna provide the decorations.
That's
Vista
true.
Grande provided all. the
That
decorations.
really
And that's
And I
Yeah.
think
big
that,
asset.
I think that and the, I think that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the, centerpieces might have been where we got charged the service fee, which,
Oh, that was,
but I mean, they don't even have them here.
yeah, we'd be doing
The
decorating. It
liability
takes a
at
while.
Vista Grande is no internet.
Right.
I don't know if you ran up here.
I have
Internet
unlimited,
bill.
no, I have unlimited data because I
Okay.
have to use a hotspot sometimes at work for
Okay.
that. So, I very quickly learned that I needed the unlimited one.
When Chrissy got too far away, it's like.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was thinking if I had to do a hotspot, I said, well, let's see, how long are we gonna be on?
Because
this?
we only have one that's got
You know,
4.
Yeah.
That's
You
tough.
know, and that's something I did, and I did know about it ahead of time because I remember that from when Stu Watkins was the DJ that he didn't have access to the internet there, and so I guess, but then I thought for some reason that we had asked and they did. I don't know.
We
I
just have
guess
to make sure we identify who's, you know, because my phone did Rich's and your phone did mine, so just as
Okay.
long as somebody. we
yeah.
had those. It worked fine, actually, since.
Yeah, it actually.
You
worked
guys
out.
did a great job.
Well, it
I didn't
worked
hear any
better than
complaints
what I
from
thought, yeah.
attenders.
And I do think I was surprised, I have to say, I was surprised of the cooperation we actually did get from the club members. In sponsors and finding auction items. I was wondering what kind of cooperation we were gonna get. And I think according to some of the other auctions we've had, I think it was good, don't you, Paul?
Mhm.
I mean, I really do.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we
Well,
had a
were
good
you the
deal.
one that took the list and kind of